Vinyl community, we are back. I'm squeaking in one last video here. Kind of quiet for me in February, but I did have a lot of things going on. My son gave me the norovirus earlier about last week this time, so I've been laid up and sick a little bit as well. But I did want to get this video out before the end of February, which tomorrow, the 28th, is the end of February, but this is my Black History Month video. And I'm going to do 28 artists for the 28 days that are in Black History Month, which is February. And I'm going to show you artists that I believe, in my mind, push the needle forward for Black people and our culture in general, to help to raise awareness and bring about social consciousness and just really important movement in Black culture. So without further ado, the first artist that I'm going to show you I'm going to do them in chronological order as well. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt myself, but I'm going to do it in chronological order. And I'm doing only American artists because if you look across the world and across the globe, there are a lot of artists that were doing it in other places, but I want to stick to America. All right, number one, we have Sam Cooke, Shake, A Change Is Gonna Come. So this is the first album that Sam Cooke came out with, or that came out after his death. He was killed in 1964, in December of 1964, and this one came out in 1965. And most notably with this particular album, you have this song here that was penned by Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. And it's really a powerful, beautiful song that would have been nice to see come out during his lifetime, but right afterwards, as it was very poignant timing as well. Amazing artist, considered the king of soul, went on to inspire many, many other artists. So number one, Sam Cooke, Shake, A Change Is Gonna Come. Number two, we have Louis, Don't Call Me Louie, Satchmo Armstrong. Louis Armstrong. So this guy was a major, major player in bringing jazz to the forefront. He was also one of the main people to bring the second wave of jazz, swing jazz, into the forefront. And this one here is a comp from 1965. It's on Metro, which is a subsidiary of MGM. But more importantly, Louis Armstrong was a strong, strong individual as it relates to the Black movement, and he had things to say as it relates to segregation and desegregation in the South. He spoke out against Dwight D. Eisenhower and also the governor of Arkansas in regards to their handling of desegregation. And he also decided to forego a concert that was going to be held in the Soviet Union as a protest against our government's handling of such matters. So Pops, or Satch, was a big, big one in the realm of pushing the needle forward for the Black movement. Number three, we have one of my favorites. This one again is from 1965. It's Miss Nina Simone. This is her album Pastel Blue. And this came out at a time for Nina where she was actually quite blue. She just had a friend by the name of Lorraine Hansberg just pass away from cancer. And Lorraine was the author of A Raisin in the Sun. And she also was very good friends with Malcolm X, who had also recently passed away. So you have songs on this album like Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, End of the Line, Chilly Winds Don't Blow, and then basically all of side B or side two, Ain't No Use, Strange Fruit, and Sinnerman. This one is considered one of her best albums. It's a masterpiece in my mind, but she was a Juilliard-trained pianist that wasn't very proud of her voice, didn't like to sing, but when she did sing, she sung of equal rights, of social movements, and of pushing Black people forward, pushing the African American agenda forward for equal rights. Right, number 4. I've got one that's a little bit maybe of a controversial take, but we're going to do it regardless. This one came out in 1969. It's Ike Turner and the Kings of Rhythm, A Black Man's Soul. So I think a lot of things that Ike is known for, besides his relationship with Tina Turner and his treatment of her, is that he was a multi-instrumentalist and he was also a producer. But I think this is the most radical album in his canon, and as a band leader. And there's songs on here like Thinking Black, Black Beauty, Ghetto Funk, Black Angel, and Freedom Sound is the last song on side 2. It's a great album. It's all instrumental, very funky. This one's been sampled over and over again, but this was on Pompeii, which was a subsidiary of Atco. But this again was about bringing consciousness and awareness about Black rights and civil rights and pushing the agenda forward. Okay, the next one we've got, number 5. We have one of my favorites, another one of my favorites, Eugene McDaniels. This one's called Outlaw. This came out in 1970 on Atlantic Records. And you can see Eugene there. He's the cowboy, he's the outlaw. And this was just an amazing album. He had 2, one in 1970, this one, and then in 1971, Headless Heroes of the Apocalypse, that were kind of his most politically charged albums. This one is like psych, it's funk, it's got a little bit of jazz elements to it, but it's absolutely amazing. Got songs on here like Outlaw, Welfare City, Silent Majority, Unspoken Dreams of Light, and Black Boy. And this is just an absolutely politically charged, amazing psych funk album. And if you don't know, you should check it out. Eugene McDaniels, Outlaw. All right, the next one we have is also a person who was very, very politically charged as well. It's number 6. We have the first album from Curtis Mayfield, titled Curtis. This one also came out in 1970. And as you see, as we go through this list, a lot of the albums here came out probably mostly between 70 and 73. And 71 in particular was a big year for political unrest and a lot of albums that were speaking to untruth and unjust. Anyways, this album here is absolutely phenomenal. It's his first album, as I mentioned, 1970, came out on his own label, the Kurt Tum label. And he has songs on here, Don't Worry, If There Is Hell Below, We're All Gonna Go, The Other Side of Town, Miss Black America, We the People Who Are Darker Than Blue. And then he also had a minor hit too, Move On Up, which I'm sure most of you've heard. But I'm going to circle back to Curtis here as well, because this is one of many politically charged social injustice albums that he came up with. Number 7, I've got Charles Earland with his album Black Talk. And this one also came out from 1970 on that Purple Prestige. And Charles was a jazz musician, most notable for playing the organ. He had help on here from Houston Person, Melvin Sparks, and Idris Muhammad, who we're going to talk about a little bit later. And this is just an amazing, amazing jazz album that he put together here as the band leader. He has songs like the Black Talk, Here Comes Charlie, More Today Than Yesterday. And again, just another person in the pantheon, in the catalog of artists pushing the agenda forward, right? In that same jazz vein, we'll have from number 8, we have another favorite of mine, Mr. Herbie Hancock. And this is his album, The Prisoner. It was recorded in 1969, but came out in 1970. It's on Blue Note. And this album was Herbie's tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. After his death. So the first song on side 1 is I Have a Dream. The second song is The Prisoner. I should say compositions because there's no singing with these. Side 2, you have Firewater, He Who Lives in Fear, and Promise of the Sun. Just an absolutely gorgeous effort from Herbie Hancock and a lovely, lovely tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. Number 8, Herbie Hancock, The Prisoner. All right, number 9, we have somebody who was synonymous with political movements, and that was Gil Scott-Heron. This is his first album. It's called Small Talk at 125th and Lenox. This came out in 1970 on Flying Dutchman. And here is the first time you see, this one's mostly spoken word, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, which was a huge, huge song. So this one here is, like I said, mostly spoken word. Another one that he has on here is Who Will Pay Reparations for My Soul. So very, very politically charged, a lot about the plight of African American people and their current status and state in the United States. So this one isn't the one that launched him and set him off. I'm going to show you that one here next. That one is this one. It's Pieces of a Man. That also came out on Flying Dutchman a year later. And this one has the Revolution That Will Not Be Televised, the jazz funkier one with singing in it. Also has Save the Children, Here's Where Hatred Is, Pieces of a Man, The Prisoner, Needle's Eye. Again, just heavily politically charged, as all his albums. Really beautiful, amazing album. And a voice that definitely could not be silenced, especially in 1971. Right, number 10. We've got another favorite of mine. We've got Miles Davis, and this is Jack Johnson, which this one here came out in 1971. And this is the soundtrack to the documentary about Jack Johnson. And that documentary came out in 1970. There's only 2 compositions. The first side is Right Off, and the second side is Yesternow. And I'll show you in the back here, we've got some pictures of Jack Johnson. If you don't know much about the story, you should look it up, but it's amazing. He was the first African-American boxing heavyweight champion. I mean, he was kind of destroying everybody in his path. And in the process, he got riches and fame, and he also had a white wife. And he did a lot of things against the grain, and he had threats to his life from the Ku Klux Klan, among other racist individuals. But he went on thriving and was a strong inspiration to people in the sport and people of his race as well. Highly recommend you checking out the documentary if you haven't seen it or you don't know anything about Jack Johnson. And it's his amazing album, Jazz Fusion, to go along with it. Miles Davis, Jack Johnson soundtrack as number 10. All right, let's get into number 11. we have somebody that I alluded to a little bit earlier, and that is Idris Muhammad. This is his first album as band leader. This one came out in 1971 on Prestige. It's called Black Rhythm Revolution. And he was a drummer, he was a percussionist. So you got drumming solos, which are outstanding. But you have Express Yourself, Soulful Dreams, Super Bad, Wander, and By the Red Sea. Just an absolutely gorgeous effort from Idris. And if you're into drumming and jazz drumming, I'd highly recommend checking this one out. All right, number 12. We're gonna step into blues, and we're gonna step into Chicago blues with Memphis Slim. And he was a blues pianist, like I said, based out of the Chicago area. This album also came out in 1971. This one was on Warner Brothers Records. And you have songs on here, specifically on side 2, one titled Chicago 7 that deals with the group that was protesting the Vietnam War and was also charged with starting riots at the 1968 Democratic Convention. And then you also have a song that talks about, it's called the Mason-Dixon Line, and talks about the Mason-Dixon Line, which is synonymous with having free slaves on the north and people that were enslaved to the south, right? So again, very racially, very politically charged album here. Very important one in Memphis Slim's catalog and canon. Right, now we're going to move in a slightly different direction. Number 13, we have John Coltrane's second wife, which is Alice Coltrane. And this is one of her most beautiful and I would say most spiritual albums that she came out with. It's called Journey into Satchidananda. And there are songs on here about her getting into Eastern religion, songs like Isis and Osiris, something about John Coltrane. John Coltrane had just passed when this came out because this came out in 1971. She was on Impulse. There's Stopover on Bombay. And then there is the title track, but just absolutely gorgeous album. She played the harp. She was a harpist. And I would say she had help from Pharoah Sanders on this as well, but just absolutely beautiful, beautiful album. Very spiritual, very meditative, and has to do with more about harnessing the power within and rising above. So it's a different way to look at what's happening at this time and how to handle it, and really a beautiful approach, I think anyways. All right, number 14, we have a crowd favorite for many, and we have Bill Withers' first album, which is Just As I Am. And this one is so good. This one also came out in 1971. Like I said, 1971 was a big year. This one was on the Sussex label. And there's so many good songs on here. You have the title track. You have Ain't No Sunshine, which was a hit for him. Grandma's Hands, which was also a hit. And there's some darker stuff on here too. In My Heart, Better Off Dead. But just a beautiful, beautiful album from Bill Withers. I think his first 2-3 albums kind of almost serve as a greatest hits, just because they're all killer, no filler. Just beautiful soul music. Right, number 15, we've got one that most people are familiar with. Again, 1971, Tamla Records. We have Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Man, what an album. And this one has consistently ranked as #1 on Rolling Stone's top 500 albums of all time for very good reason. You have What's Going On, What's Happening Brother, Save the Children, Mercy, Mercy Me, Inner City Blues, Make Me Wanna Holler. Just an absolute powerhouse and political outcry album. Just beautiful. And the odd chance that you haven't heard this, definitely go listen to it. It's one of a kind, and it's one in a million. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Okay, we're gonna still stick into 1971. We have a different album from Albert Collins. It's called There's Gotta Be a Change. And Albert Collins was a blues guitarist. He was cousins with Lightning Hopkins, so he learned a lot of his playing from Lightning. But this is the only album that he had that came off of Tumbleweed Records, which was a small independent label out of Colorado, which I'd highly suggest that you check out if you're not familiar with. But the songs he has on here are very politically charged. The first one is the title track, There's Gotta Be a Change. Today Ain't Like Yesterday is also on side 1. Side 2, we have Something on My Mind, Get Your Business Straight, and Fade Away. Just a killer effort from Albert Collins. Right, we are still in 1971 territory. This will be the last one from 1971, but it's a big one. We have Sly and the Family Stone. There's a Riot Going On. This one came out on Epic. And in my mind, this is the most politically charged album from 1971 and from Sly and the Family Stone. Just a beautiful gatefold here. But the songs that you have on here are just almost every one, right? You have Love and Hate, and hate is spelt like Haight-Ashbury. Family Affair, Africa Talks to You, The Asphalt Jungle. The title track, There's a Riot Going On. You have You Caught Me Smiling, Running Away, and Thank You for Talking to Me. And Thank You for Taking Me to Africa, I believe is what it is. Or Talking to Me, Africa. Sorry. Just a powerhouse of an album, and just so it's good too, right? It's not just the politics behind it, but it is something that's hard to put on and take off. You want to listen to the whole thing through because it is so powerful and it is so amazing, and it's a piece of the time, right? Just absolutely gorgeous album. All right. We're cruising now. We're to number 18. We have another Chicago bluesman. We have Luther Allison, and we're in 1972 now. This is Bad News Is Coming. So Luther has songs on here. He does some standards like Little Red Rooster, but he has Evil Is Going On. He has Raggedy and Dirty. He has Bad News Is Coming. And if you can see it there, Luther's preparing himself for the bad news quite aptly. But just a fantastic, down and dirty, gritty blues album that is definitely of its time, definitely feels of 1972. All right, number 19, we're gonna go in, I would say, what would be a little bit more of a hopeful direction. And we have the Staple Singers. And so this one is Be Altitude, Respect Yourself, right? So they are they're singing about, this is singing about rising above and being a bigger person, and I guess being the change that you want to see, right? Really, really beautiful sentiment. But they have songs like Respect Yourself, I'll Take You There, which both were really big hits. We the People, and I'm Just Another Soldier. But a really amazing, amazing album. And if you are not that familiar with the Staple Singers or with Mavis Staple, this is a great album to start with. Right, number 20. I've got Mr. Free Jazz himself, Ornette Coleman. This album is called Crisis. This came out in 1972 on the Impulse label. And this was an album that was recorded live in New York University. It was recorded in '69, but didn't come out until '72. And you have songs on here like Broken Shadows, Song for Che, Trouble in the East, and Space Jungle. And if you can see here, he's got the Bill of Rights on the front here. So definitely trying to make a statement with this one. And I think he succeeded. Okay, we're going to stay in the free jazz, spiritual jazz realm. In number 21, 1972, also Impulse, we have Pharoah Sanders with Black Unity. And this one is one song, is divided on two sides. So side one, you have Black Unity Part 1. And side 2, you have Black Unity Part 2. So you have basically a single composition that's broken into two sides, and the whole thing is about Black unity, and it's about everybody banding together and a common thread and a common voice to deal with what's going on and try to rise above and become who you are supposed to be, and also to see your dreams come to fruition no matter what. So again, a very beautiful spiritual sentiment, much like Alice Coltrane, and obviously was friends and performing a lot with Alice Coltrane as well. Okay, number 22, we've got the hardest man working in show business, James Brown, The Payback. This is a big one here. This was James' effort to get onto a soundtrack of a blaxploitation film at the time. This one came out in '73 on Polydor, and it was supposed to be the soundtrack to a film called Hell Up in Harlem. They decided not to go with this album because they felt like it was more of the same from James Brown. It wasn't a fresh sound, a fresh perspective. So they went with a different soundtrack, and I think they missed the mark because nobody really knows that film. But I guarantee you, if they would have stuck with The Payback here, people would be talking about that film more. People would still be interested in that film. But he's got songs like the title track, Payback. He's got Shoot Your Shot, Forever Suffering, Mind Power, and Time Is Running Out. I'll show you the back here too. Just a really awesome early 70s effort from James Brown. And it's too bad it didn't make it on that soundtrack, but it's still an amazing album. All right, now we have one more from Curtis Mayfield. I'm not going to include it in the lineup, but I just wanted to show you. This is a later effort of his from 1975. It's called There's No Place Like America Today. And again, just politically and racially charged, right? You have the white family in the car going on vacation, and then you have all the African American folks in front there lining up at the welfare line just to eat. So again, with him, you have songs that are When Seasons Change, Jesus, Blue Monday People, Hard Times, Love to the People. Beautiful album, again, from Curtis, but you can see that the racial and the social injustice is never far from his mind. All right, back to the list, 23. We're going back on the Flying Dutch. This is 1975, and this is Visions of a New World. And it's Lonnie Liston Smith and the Cosmic Echoes. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful album. And I'll fold out the gatefold here for you. And you have amazing albums, songs, Chants for Peace, Love Beams, Colors of the Rainbow, Sunset, Visions of a New World, Phase 1, Visions of a New World, Phase 2. And this is fusion, it's cosmic jazz, it's spiritual jazz, it's absolutely beautiful, speaks to unity and to rising above, and harmony and the peace that I think he highly sought after. Sticking in that same vein, number 24, we have The Visitors, Earl and Carl Grubbs. This one's called Motherland, and this one came out in 1976 on Muse Records, and this is just another gorgeous spiritual album. And Earl and Carl Grubbs were related to Namia Coltrane, who was John Coltrane's first wife. I think that's how they got a contract with Muse and released the albums that they did. But you have songs on here like Body and Soul, Motherland, Fables of Africa, and I Want to Talk About You, and A Touch of Warm. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful album, again, that is on the spiritual side, that speaks to rising above and finding harmony and peace in this world. Right, we're going to jump now not too far, to 1976. We're going to stay in 1976, but the next one's going to be a jump. But we have Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life, 1976 on Tamala. And you've got Love's in Need of Love Today, I Wish, Knock Me Off My Feet, Ordinary Pain, Isn't She Lovely, Joy Inside My Tears, Black Man. This is one of his most celebrated albums. I would say one of his most politically charged albums as well, but there's a reason it was so popular. I mean, it's a double album, and then it also includes a 7-inch single, but it's absolutely jam-packed, and this was his awareness record as far as I'm concerned. Right, now we are going to take a big leap forward for number 26. And we have De La Soul. This one came out in 1989 on Tommy Boy Records, and this album's called 3 Feet High and Rising. And this was kind of the beginning or the infancy of hip-hop conscious rap. So conscious rap is about awareness, right? About what's going on and not turning a blind eye. So you have songs like Tread Water, A Little Bit of Soap, Ghetto Thang. You also have songs like Full Time Era, Life, Me, Myself, and I was a hit for them. So was The Magic Number. But you have popular music mixed in with conscious hip hop. And A Tribe Called Quest was also making music very similar to this. Amazing album, by the way, too. If you haven't heard it, I highly suggest checking it out. Okay, we're so close, gang. Number 27, we have somebody who was never afraid of confrontation. We have Ice Cube with his album, his second solo album called Death Certificate. This one came out in 1991 on Priority Records, and he has two sides here. He has the death side, which is side A, and he has the life side, which is side B. But if you can see it, he's got Uncle Sam is Dead. He's got a toe tag on Uncle Sam there. But you have songs like The Funeral, My Summer Vacation, Robin Lench, which is obviously a play on Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and A Bird in the Hand, Man's Best Friend. And then on the life side, you have I Want to Kill Sam, True to the Game, Colorblind, and Us. So I would say this is Ice Cube's most politically charged album that to date in his solo canon. Right, number 28. It's an album from 2000. This is Jurassic 5's second album. It's called Quality Control. And again, we're talking hip hop conscious album here. And you have songs like How We Get Along, The Influence. Quality Control was a big song for them as well. You have a song called Lost, and Contribution, and The Game. This is just an amazing, amazing album. If you're not familiar with Jurassic 5, this is the one that is the go-to that I would suggest that you listen to start your journey with them. So there we did it. We did 28 days. But I know what you're telling me, right? Because this video wasn't long enough for everybody. What happens on a leap year? Do you have number 29 covered? And I got you. Last album, number 29. From 1969, we have Thelonious Monk with Underground. And is this album overly politically charged? I would say no, but I'm going to show you that because of the cover. In this cover, he is dressed as a French revolutionary during World War II, and he has a commanding officer from the German army, a Nazi there that has been shot and stuffed in the background. And he also has a bunch of other amazing things, which is in his studio apartment in New York. Not to mention the firearm that he's got slung around his side as he's playing piano. And he's got live ammunition and grenades on the table. But he saw himself here as a freer of the people, and he was going underground. So that's why I wanted to share this album. And if you haven't heard, if you're not familiar with Thelonious Monk, this is a really fun one in his canon. So I just wanted to end it on that note. And so I hope everybody had a great Black History Month and got to reflect a little bit on the reason why we have it every year. And I guess I'll see you in March now. Everybody be well. Bye.